Okay, so this is going to be a short video just about quantization. There's always many approaches to do something. So I'm going to go over two different approaches right here, and it's your decision to figure out which one you want to use, or maybe not even use these. Come up with your own. But so this is just, you know, if you want to quantize something to a grid, right? So in this case here, I'm going to show you just the game, or not the game, but the map editor. So this is kind of what it looks like. I can, you know, select from the objects, the highlighted ones are the selected, and then if I go over here, then I just put my mouse cursor over an area, then hit the add object button. It'll add the object, and it shows, you know, these are the quantized points. So this is the points that I added it to. And this is the original unquantized points. This is where my cursor was at, but it quantized it to here so that it would be within the grid, which is quantized to 8. Like each grid space is 8 pixels. So 16 divided by 8, that's quantized. 104 divided by 8, right? So yeah, this is one approach. So basically what all I'm doing here is just going through a big loop, right? I'm saying, yeah, continue, you know, going through the multiples of 8. So, you know, I'm starting at 0, but it's not a multiple of 8, but I just keep adding, 8, until the next multiple, if the next multiple is higher than the number the number that we're getting that we're trying to quantize, then return that number. So that's all I'm doing here. That's one approach that, as you can tell, works. But then there's another approach, which is a little more complicated, but not much. I'm going to break it down. This is the formula. This is how it looks in code, but I can show you what it looks like just on a calculator here to make a little more sense. It's pretty simple. So let's say let's pick a number that isn't, looks like I probably did this number, that isn't divisible by 8, which I already know is the grid. That's why I keep mentioning 8. That's why I divided by 8 earlier, because that's the grid size. So 85 is not divisible by 8, right? But we have a decimal of 0.625, right? So to basically go down and find the number closer, downwards, when you're the next number going downwards that's closest to the a multiple of 8, we can basically do this. So if I do 85 minus, let's do 8 times, and then we just take the decimal. We don't care about this. We're just worried about the decimal because we need it to return a whole number, right? So we're just going to subtract. We're basically taking the decimal part away, right? Times 625. Boom. And guess what? We're left with 80, and 80 is divisible by 8, and I can prove that to you, but I mean, should be able to tell. Yeah, so that's kind of the approach, is just basically, this is kind of what that formula looks like on a calculator, right? So in this case, in order to get the little, the decimal part, right? So I do n divided by q. So q is what we want to quantize to, which is going to be 8. The map grid is 8. And then n is just where the mouse pointer is at, right? Which isn't going to be a quantized value. And I just do, that number divided by the quantized number, right? And what I'm going to get is, some weird decimal if it's not within the grid. And then what I do then is I just floor it, right? And flooring it will just give me the non-decimal part. So just in this case, it just give me 10, right? And then I'm going to subtract 10 from the whole number, right? 10.65, and that'll give me negative 0.65. That's because we're subtracting a big number from a little number. So, I'm sorry, a little number. Yeah, a little number from a bigger number. So that's why we're getting a negative value. And that's why instead of subtracting here, I'm plussing, whereas in this case, I was subtracting. Yeah, and then I just do the same thing I was doing here. So the quantized value, right? So that's this step right here. The quantized value times whatever the decimal value was, right? And then, you know, in this case, like I said, I'm adding to the number, and I can just prove that that works. So I'm going to build the file and show you. So let's just run my make. This is just you know, a PowerShell script that builds it. So let's run the map editor. Boom. So there's the map editor, right? You already seen this. So I'm going to pick an object. I'm going to place it on the grid, or place it on the map where my mouse cursor is at. And we got, these are the points that I came up with, 88 and 80, right? So let's see, are those divisible by 8? So 88 divided by 8 is 11. 80 divided by 8 is 10, right? So yep, it is. And I can do this again one more time just to show you. I'll put my cursor in a weird spot. I'll just put it like in a weird spot, like right there. So 80 and 136, right? So 80 divided by 8, 10, 136 divided by 8, 17. It is quantized. So there, you can do with that information as you like. Just thought it'd be a little helpful. Thanks for watching.